I found these photographs that I thought they were very peculiar. In one photograph, you have the entrance of the house and it's empty. And then in the other one, you have this gardener.
Yeah, that's right.
And I started to think about the contrast between the two images.
It transforms it.
In what way?
Human occupancy. There's a human being in the house. Happens to be the gardener. Why not? Does the average person give a damn about what's behind him? No. They're taken by the fact that this man, even his hat is wearing, it's great. He appeared there. I call, oh, hey, wait, hold it right there. I quickly cocked the shutter, pulled the slide out of the camera, took the picture. He was looking at me. I said, okay, butcher's gracias. He went. I tried to prevail the milk people to use this picture, but they didn't because it was already used extensively by magazines. Two beautiful young American children drinking milk in a setting, fruit, milk, and a beautiful garden. That's the same garden. It's a lifestyle. Children, milk, fruit, good eating. A person thumbing through a magazine, front to back or back to the front, bypass this picture. If they saw this girl, she's very attractive, she's very inviting, she knew how to pose. Mrs. Merman, she's the wife of the owner of the house. Very attractive. Conrad Buff, the architect. Mrs. Merman, Mr. Merman. It's all there. Family life. Now there are many, many people, photographers and architects alike, who would not permit this to happen. Nigel wouldn't. He didn't want anybody interfering with his architecture. When I went in to the house with Nitra, he didn't like her furniture. Why? Because he didn't want to compete with his architecture. No editor of a magazine, House and Garden or whatever magazine, even an architectural magazine, they want to show a house lived in, how it's occupied by a human being. I said to him, Richard, the room is naked. Where do you sit? I don't care, he said. I want to show my architecture. So after I finished photographing the house, I said to Mrs. Maslin, I would like to photograph your house the way you live in it. May I come back? This is a mutual housing, A.Q. Jones and Whitney Smith were the architects. And as I set the camera, I heard a dog barking by here. Come, turn around, there's this mother and dog and child coming up the driveway. So I didn't say anything. They came by me. She said, oh, can I walk through? I said, oh yes, I'm not ready to take the picture yet. So I quickly had focused the camera already, put the film in there, knowing that she's going to walk up. Right there, click. She never knew her picture was taken. Till many years later when she saw the house in the magazine. I didn't know you took our picture, she said. I decided to photograph children and their activity. So we brought the toys out. The little boy helped me. The girl brought her doll buggy in the other room. I had to stand there as if she's walking, see her feet. And then he and I set the toys here, and I even played with the toys for a while. It turns out to be a very important picture. Even turning the handlebars of the bicycle to turn that way. 3 children enjoying their own house, each in their own activities. He's reading, he's playing with a toy, and she's playing with a doll. What else can you say? There were toys in the foreground for the photographer to play with. This is important because we put this couch here, because otherwise it's all empty. And I have this model pose for me here. I suddenly observed her ring, her wedding ring. I said, hey, rest your arm on the couch here. After all, it's a domestic scene. The husband's just come from work. There's his car. He parked his car. He's putting some music on. They're going to have a drink or something. And one editor mentioned this in the caption, a domestic scene. 90% of those books and or magazines have that picture in it. It's taken in 1960. I had been setting up the camera on the inside of the living room looking out towards the view. And the two girls are the girlfriends of two of the young architects who work with Pierre Koenig. So while we're setting up the lights inside the house, I walked outside to see the view, and I suddenly saw this composition. The girls were sitting there, talking, comfortable. So I ran to the house and I said, Carlos, let's go bring the camera out here quickly. My assistant set the lights, replaced them with flash bulbs, turned off the house lights so the girls would sit in the dark because I wanted to take a time exposure of the city. And that's it. This is a group of people having a good time, having lunch. They were having lunch, actually. In fact, I joined them afterwards because Gordon Drake was the architect. That's his secretary. So they had arranged for my assistant and I to have lunch with him after we took this picture.
What did you have for lunch? Do you remember?
Yes, some very good beef sandwiches. I remember that. On rye bread and beer. He won all kinds of awards. He became famous all over the world for that one house. We had a very good relationship. And his houses were easy to photograph. Everyone loves this one because of the unusual swinging doors, these sort of French doors. Look what it does to open the house. Albert was great. Albert was wonderful. He lived alone, worked alone, had a small staff, but his work was much different in the creative sense. Frank Lloyd Wright was all Frank Lloyd Wright, period. Albert experimented. This is his master bedroom. He calculated how far the window should penetrate east and west to shut out the sun in summertime and let sun come in wintertime into the bedroom. This is the dining room table that Albert suspended with wires from the ceiling. No legs on the table. That was a very widely published story, part of the house. A picture of the two children on the floor under the table playing. No legs. It's all hung by wires. We have pictures of his girlfriend, one of the pictures, sitting at the table. And she's framed by the opening to show that you have conversation back and forth, even with the wires there. That's a fun picture because it tells a story also. But how I saved a deadline for Good Housekeeping magazine. We got to the house. Cliff made one of those early low-cost houses. There's no landscaping, as promised me. We found out there's a nursery selling plants, so we bought some canned plants and stuck plants all around the house. And we cut a branch off of a tree back here somewhere and framed it. Here, this frame with my light stand. See it holding up the branch? So we put roses in the foreground. That's how we took the picture. So we decided let's show how we took the photograph. So we lowered the camera low here to look over the flowers here. And there's a composition.